Bueno.
So like the entire island is like really owned now.
Yeah, it was 33 already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Oh, that's right, yeah, those, yeah.
And now they're like,
Well, let's see.
what did they resort to?
Okay, I don't see the agenda.
Just market
I
rate.
see these two things.
Yeah, they took them
We're
on
not-
probably.
We need to.
Where did I move here? What do they fall under? When, like, maybe like.
Okay. Okay, I don't mind.
That's the exact day I have. The other two, yeah, I think that was like,
Yeah,
that's
they
like a
must
prime
have-
time for like lawsuit.
Hi. Using the same, financing. That's where we're on that.
Yes, a lot of these buildings, probably some, the tenants themselves voted. Or like were in favor of.
And
Things out in the apartment, whatever else. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
How do you know? But that wasn't what it was meant for. No. I don't think any of us even see this. We would never agree to like just go completely left the way stuff, you know, take away that opportunity that other people or that we had, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't feel fun.
Yeah, we can hear you, but it isn't always coming in super clearly. The tip that I always tell folks is if you have the subtitles on.
I did.
And so are the other two.
If you want to take.
Lisa, can you hear me? Lisa?
Share the agenda, but I didn't see the agenda up there. There was agenda.
Hey, Lisa, can you hear me?
Probably not saved here.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No.
The other two don't.
You want to share the screen?
Monique, can you hear me?
Yeah, I wanted to share the agenda,
Who started talking? Oh, Barry.
Well, I won't be here.
but also I didn't
Oh,
open it up.
right.
Yeah, hey, Lisa, Monique.
Well, look. I don't have the agenda here to share. I'll have to email it to the account that's on here, which is Akil's account.
Okay.
All right.
So I gotta go email it to him and then pick it up here.
Okay.
No, you're good.
Do you have it, Barry?
They're good skill learning.
The agenda.
It is, yeah.
No, it's.
Yeah,
Barry?
hold on. Well,
No.
I mean, assuming I have it.
Meeting
One
and
moment.
then
Yeah, I got it. Hold on.
the
I'll forward it to
ideas.
Hakil.
Okay.
September.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm sure. And I tried to open it up.
I just forwarded it to Hakil's email.
Okay.
Okay.
And do you guys have your closed captions on?
We'll put it on.
This meeting's being transferred.
Yeah,
Yes.
because someone in the chat said it was hard to hear hear the room. So
Okay.
if, if you see what you said in closed captions, it was picked up.
All right.
Thank you, Barry. Right. Don't stop sharing screen. Okay.
Gotta get to the email.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
yeah.
All right, we do it.
Oh.
Hold on, I'm trying to pick up the email to pick the agenda. And my pen, and my water. Sorry, sir.
Well, it started. Barry, can you hear us, Barry?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh. And bring up the agenda. Oh. You need to get on.
I can't pick up the emails, I'm sorry. I'm not seeing the option where I could pick up the,
Victor, is that what you were doing? Trying to show the agenda? If I can get on with it, I'll do it.
We're gonna start with Alec. So you can get the closed captions on.
okay.
So welcome, everybody. Those who don't know me, my name is Victor Edwards. I have the pleasure sometimes of being chair of Committee Board 9, and an honor all the time. So we don't have co-chairs at the moment because of our co-chairs who did a fantastic job removed. And we'll have some co-chairs sometime soon, once we assign people to the committee.
And I'm Monique Carlin Cordero, second vice chair. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Some faces I recognize and other faces I will look forward to meeting.
For those who I emailed, come and join us, hear your opinion, see how things work, and we'll go from there. So, motion to call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum because it's 2 people in the committee at the month and 2 people are here.
So moving.
A motion to adopt the agenda with any necessary corrections.
So
I have actually an edit, 2 edits to the agenda. In your package, you'll see West Harlem CBA community benefits agreement summary and recommendations. Then you also see Committee Board 9 197A plan, where we discuss those in some details this evening, so you know what those are, which kind of some of the guiding forces behind our housing things here in the community. So,
agenda is shared.
great.
Thank you.
Okay. What I'd like to do at this time is just go around the room, introduce ourselves. You know who I am. You know, Monique Harden Federo, the second vice chair, and this Youth Prince is the district manager, office manager, and all those other things that go make this place run smoothly. So starting with you.
I'm Teresa Kozurican.
Okay. You live in the area?
Oh, yeah, I live in the area. I'm in General Brand Houses.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
And I'm an active advocate. Totally.
Okay.
That's what we want.
That's what we
Yes,
want.
thank you.
Hi, everyone, my name's Michael. I live on 112th between Broadway and Amsterdam. And I'm a law school student, so I just finished my first year and good to be here.
So you just finish your first year?
Just finished my first year, 2 more to go. Yeah.
And you're new to the city.
New to the community board, yeah, so, yeah, great to be here.
And I'm David Venter, and I don't know now, but I finished both 3 years of law school. I'm retired. I was a an attorney for about 40 years. So and I'm
When you all speak, just try to speak up a little bit, since we're competing with the MTA.
Yes.
So, and we want to make sure everybody can hear online. Thank you.
Solana.
Hi, I'm Lana Mercado. I'm a committee member. I live in a Housing Preservation and Development / Affordable Co-op. I'm also an attorney and, I'm still here on the board. And, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clayton.
I'm Clayton, I'm a former board member. I guess I take the meeting minutes for this meeting.
I appreciate
Be
it.
on for this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Great minutes. I was reading from last time. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was gonna use it as a model going forward for something. Miss Sydney.
We'll miss you, Terry. Stephen Mortensen, former co-chair of this committee, former Community Board 9 member, but long-term resident, been here 16 years up on 115th Street. Happy to continue to serve as a public member. Oh, no. It's
Good evening, everyone. Liz Whitetakis, former co-chair of this committee, now a public member. I live in an HDFC on Common Avenue. I've lived in the neighborhood for a couple of decades. And my real job, my full-time job is I do historic preservation. So I like to be able to give back and things what I do in my community.
Great, thank you.
I'm a high school teacher in Brundle. I can speak really loud. I live in Common Avenue, 149, and my building was rent stabilized for a while until my landlord took over. That's a little story.
All right,
I'm here to serve.
thank you, sir. Back row.
Hi, my name is Isabel. Nice to meet everyone. I think it's the first time I come physically. I was cordially, nicely invited by Deirdre and Shanika. Yes. I live in Harlem since about 15 years on 112 and St. Nicholas. I run a business on Adam Clayton Powell. It's called Harlem Brain. We also teach at 8 Randall.
Yeah. Just to be sure, did you mean to be at the youth
Youth
education?
education.
Yes.
Next door.
Next
Is
door.
it? I wondered.
Right.
I was like, if Shanika
I know.
is housing.
This is
Yes,
housing.
I know. You want to be next door. Yes,
all the
so sorry.
She also.
I know, I'm so happy to see him.
Oh,
Okay, so we give you a little coincidence.
Yeah.
We work together.
Nothing is coincidence.
Sure, you're
Yes, yeah.
thank you.
Right next door. We have a fun too.
Yeah, it's a meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, I will keep you updated.
Yes, sir, you are.
I'm Amazon at 760 Riverside Drive, that's where I live at. Been there for 30+ years. Okay, and got some great problems and it has to do with those construction. First of all, so the construction that's going on, that's been happening for 5 years, that's not been
On
going.
the Viper.
Yes,
We're gonna get to that.
and also I lost a neighbor. Since I prior to her, she passed. This is another neighbor. She lost a neighbor. Cousin. Yes, it was the elderly neighbor, so they didn't have to any of them. So the ambulance couldn't get to her in time.
Oh, boy.
So they gone through these dividers and they come, our whole building is surrounded.
760, what's
760 Riverside Drive, on Riverside, West 53rd Street, on Riverside.
Yep, I know you are. Exactly.
Right by the cemetery.
Yes,
I think he should come to the uniform.
uniform services meeting.
Yeah, because we had people who would have listened to this and maybe do something about it. But that construction has been going on.
Over 5
Very,
years.
yeah.
It's,
Okay,
it's,
we, I'll speak with you here and after the meeting.
Please.
Very familiar with that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm Jim McKinley, I live in the central.
From where they-
Same shoe.
Okay, yes, thank you. All righty, Barry, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure thing. Hi, everybody. My name is Barry Weinberg. I am a former member of, why is my video not on? I am a former member of Manhattan Community Board 9. up until last month, and I believe, if Victor signed off, I am a public member of this committee. I've been in the neighborhood 17 years. I'm on 138th Street in Riverside, and was a member of the board for 12 years. So happy to be here virtually, and happy to see everyone. Look forward to being in person again in September, when hopefully I'm not traveling for work.
Thank you, Barry. Plus we have this board. John Martin Green, you on?
Hello there, John Martin Green. Lived in the community for 35 years. Been a CB9 member for the last decade.
Thank you.
Heather Jason.
Heather Jason.
Hi, I'm Heather Jason on Community Board 9. I've been in the community for 28 years. I am a member of the Landmarks Preservation and Parks Committee, as well as Health and Environment Committee. And I live in Sugar Hill.
Thank you.
She says she has unstable network, so let's see.
I can talk.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you
You're
can.
good.
So for being there, I am a member of the Senior Action and Economic Development Committee. I've been living in the community for the past 6 years. My network is unstable, so I can disappear anytime. But
Okay,
thank you.
thank you already.
You have some new members, Andrea.
Any new board members there? If you are, introduce yourself, please.
Yes, hello, my name is Andrea Brecker. I'm a new to the Community Board 9. I would like to be assigned to this committee, but I'm new to all of this, but I'm not new to housing issues. I've been involved with the Morningside Heights Community Coalition for quite some time. I live in Morningside Gardens. We've lived here since 1998.
Great, thank you. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Rhea McDonald, also new to the board, and I'm also a law student along with Michael, and I live on 123rd in Amsterdam, and I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you so much. Other new members there?
Yes, hi, my name is Shantae Styles. I'm sorry I'm a little bit under the weather, but I am new to the community board. I work as an executive assistant for Jericho Project, which is a nonprofit who assists New Yorkers with severe and critical housing issues. Would love to be a part of this committee, being that I see housing as one of the biggest issues, and I have some form of background in housing and contracts and zoning and passport and all that stuff. So
Great.
nice
Thank
to
you
meet
so
you
much.
all.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christina Maria Lopez. I'm born and raised here in Morningside Heights, where I live on 111th Street. My family's lived here since the 60s. I'm currently still fighting a holdover eviction for over a year now since my grandmother died, which led to my interest in housing and helping tenants in our area. Thanks to Barry and Signy for giving me a listen once when I came to this committee before, and that inspired me to apply to the community board. So here I am now. I'm also a co-captain of Harlem Run. We run starting at Marcus Garvey Park every Monday at 7. And by day, I work in marketing for New York Roadrunners.
Great, thank you. Welcome. Welcome.
Hi.
Yep.
Hi, good evening. My name is Olga Salcedo. I have been in the community board now for a lot of years. I am public members. My apology, I cannot attend all the meeting because I have conflict with my board directors of my building. I live in C44 Riverside Drive, so I enjoy to be in the committee. And I know it's a lot of years this community board and I has been working for our community. So thank you everybody for doing that.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Other new members?
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Jordan.
George,
I'm,
yes.
yeah, I'm new to the committee and new to Manhattan. We just moved a few months ago and uh, I live at 113th and Morningside. Uh, Love it so far, and I'm just very excited to be here.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Hello, good evening. My name is Mateen Sarsi. I'm a new member to the community board. I am originally from East Harlem. I spent 9 years in Washington Heights, and I've been grateful enough to be able to come back to Harlem back in 2020. And I work for the New York City Housing Authority for the last 8 years, with 5 years being with Councilmember Stephen Levin in Brooklyn. And I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Your board member?
No, I just lived in the community. I
Okay.
live at 760 Riverside Drive.
Oh, you're.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for.
And your name?
Allison.
Alice. Okay,
Thank you.
great. So. Thank you.
Whoever walked in, please make sure you sign. So that we can.
We have the contact sheet.
Make sure we.
Email it.
Isn't
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. All righty, so we're gonna get started. I call the meeting to order. We adopted the agenda with two additions. And minutes have been adopted. We did introduction and under new business, the Manhattan Plan discussion, housing plan for CB9. Before we jump that, I just wanted to bring to your attention two documents that are in your package. One says CBA housing summary, other one is 197A plan. So the CBA summary is the community benefits agreement that West Harlem has with Columbia University. It's a 50-page document. I had the responsibility, pleasure of monitoring it for the last 4 years, 4 or 5 years, for compliance and suggestions. So this summary is something that I pulled out just on housing issues. So a lot of it's through the West Harlem Development Corp, which you'll see here listed as the West Harlem Local Development Corp. It's now the West Harlem Development Corp. So we go down, you'll see a couple of different things. There's $20 million that is in the affordable housing fund, which they have yet to use. They did some work with that as a loan, and that was reimbursed them with interest. One of the things that has been helpful is the legal assistance. As you'll see in item 2, I believe it is, one attorney for 6 years, and to 2014, 2 attorneys to be provided for 16 years to December 2030. So that is every Thursday here in this. Usually they come every Thursday, or is it once a month?
Once a month, the first Thursday.
First Thursday of the month.
In this room.
That's Palante Harlem. They come and take housing issues for the community.
From 1 to 5 p.m. first Thursday of every month.
Victor?
Yes. Yes.
Just to flag on that, I ran the numbers a couple weeks ago. That money runs out by the end of the year.
Yes,
It did not end. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, I spoke with Columbia rep recently about that, and that's going to be extended. I have another meeting coming up with them, because thanks for pointing it out. That is key to a lot of things. We've had several fires that they've really helped out with, other issues with landlords, and Palante's really have helped us out quite a bit with that. So we don't want that to go away. The other item that of interest to me in particular is the resource center for HDFCs. We've yet to see a physical building or office for that. And that's something I want to really press this year to obtain. We have the largest number of HDFCs in the city, I believe, if my memory is certainly correct.
We do.
And there's various issues with them, and we want to have somewhere a resource center where people can go and get questions answered. You know, buildings can go and say, this is what's going on. We have worked with them in the past. As we said, we have members on the board that live in HDFC, so we have a really good contact, close relationship with what's going on. But to have a center, a bilingual center where people can go and say, this is what's happening in our building, what can we do? And that, I think that would be really helpful. So that's something I'm going to impress upon the committee and myself to try to move forward with West Hall Development Corp, who have people that would come under their jurisdiction. So just keep that in mind. Received $3 million for grant in the Hatfield houses. Don't have an accounting of that, how that's spent with tenant associations, but they do have that money in their budget to use. So I just wanted to bring those things to your attention. Like I said, CBA is something I've looked at for the past several years. The other item is the CB9 197A plan. Put together starting in 1991, I think was submitted in 2008, approved then with various changes, trying to get feedback from the community, what the community needs to move forward with more housing, but also at the same time preserving the historic nature of this great area that we live in. So you'll see several different items here. Affordable housing, just, you know, it's big, and I even don't like to use that word because affordable for whom is always the question I ask. Low income housing for working people. I mean, if you're a civil service worker, you might not be able to live in this area soon because of the prices of, you know, the rents going up. They just built that tower on 153rd Street. Rents
That's where I live, that's where we live.
The new building?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
our block.
That's your
That's
block.
block or your building? No, that's our building, we live at the end of that building,
Right.
and the end of our block.
Okay.
So that's the issue right
Yeah,
there.
which went up to that size without any fight from
Exactly.
people tried, but
Yes, so did the board. They kind of went around.
yeah.
Right, those are the kind of things we try to see in advance when we can and push back and try to negotiate. Sometimes it's in the interest of some of the elected officials in their purview to make those things go up, but not beneficial to the community. Like I said, it just went up, so that's been a sore spot for us as well. So these two documents will give you some ideas of what we are looking at and some of the issues we want to face in this committee. And we want to have a plan. I met with DCP, Department of City Planning recently, and they asked what was our updated plan from the 197A. And of course, it's affordable housing. And trying to hold on to the historic nature of this area, for sure. As you walk Common Avenue in St. Nicholas, Riverside, you'll see, I think, some of the most beautiful buildings in the city. And to put up a concrete structure that has no beauty in my eye, I just think it's not right. And also being something most people can't afford. You go away to college and you come back, haven't grown up in the area, you come back, say, I want to live in the same area. Can't do it. The studio's 3,500. Can't do it. Yes, please.
So, this Manhattan plan is a greater plan to build housing in Manhattan, correct? From the Department of City Planning?
Yes.
And so that question to us about, do we have an updated 197A was in response to this Manhattan plan, if they're going out.
By the way, DCP, Audrey and Jose, the representatives are on the call tonight. They
Oh, great.
go to pretty much every meeting, so.
Yeah, would be helpful. I don't know if they know when they're going to roll this out and present it formally to community boards.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had the initial meeting 2 weeks ago and want to come back with something. The 197A gives us kind of a foundation to work from, but then we just need to extend it. One of the things you will see for new board members is the Columbia's extension into the community up to 133rd, I think. here. And buildings have been torn down, churches have been moved, and some have been accommodated in the area. And some of the buildings, actually on 148th Street is a nice building, it really is. So that would be one of the tasks that we will have to take a look at as far as a plan for this committee going forward. What are we looking for? What can we afford? How can we keep people in the community that live here? And go from there. Okay. So, like I said, once we make committee assignments and we have public members here as well, we'll help try to move this along with a vision towards people that live there. So it's kind of
Question.
sure you can.
You think about the Manhattan one? Is that part of the city of the rezoning for the city of Yes?
As far as I know, it is.
It's not formally part of city, yes, but it's going to be associated actually.
Yeah, I think it's separate. Manhattan plan hasn't started yet. I think like the main focus of it is the Penn Station rezoning. And it's open-ended, so the Adams administration hasn't announced other components yet, but like it's not the same type of like broad city. I think it's more of a neighborhood than like broad text without any change.
Yeah, they're in the planning phase now of bringing that. So. I don't know if Audrey or Jose wants.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, how are you? Can you guys hear me? It's Jose here at the Department of Planning.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Just wanna position myself well. But yeah, so the Manhattan Plan is not part of the city of Yes, but it is part of the administration plan. So one of the key things in here is we want to actually hear back from the community, especially community boards. I know the team is looking for specific events or other type of meetings that either community districts or neighborhoods are hosting in order to get that voice out. They're not starting from scratch on this. They are following the previous borough president plan. We had shared the Morningside Heights proposal rezoning that came out Community Board 9. Also some other, proposals that came from Community Board 12. So different things are being looked into the Manhattan Plan. But the key difference between the city of Yes and the Manhattan Plan is that at the moment, we don't know if this is going to result in any particular zoning actions, any particular zoning changes. A plan is kind of basing off the goal of the 100,000 houses in Manhattan. And, some people have asked about the vacancy or how many vacant units are there. So it's kind of right now looking at every possible scope, and that's where we're getting out to communities and trying to get more, information and more material, I guess, for that. But there is no proposal. I just wanted to be clear with you on that. Like the proposal is still under evaluation. They are potentially looking at sites that are the R11 or 12 densities separately. But as opposed to City of Yes, when we were doing the engagement, we were proposing something for the community in terms of particular changes. They were, I don't know if you recall, for housing opportunity about 18, 16 proposals, and for economic opportunities similar to that as well. But for the Manhattan Plan right now, you could see it as an idea. And we're asking the help of the community members for shaping that idea to move forward in the plan.
Great.
Yeah, you kind of answered it. The handout that we have mentions like adopting contextual zoning in like specific areas within the community district. So I'm wondering, do we have any idea of what areas it would be, and what that'll look like?
You're talking about the Morningside Heights plan?
Yes.
The
197A.
I can answer that. The 197A was written before West Harlem was rezoned. So the contextual zoning happened there during the West Harlem rezoning. Yeah, in 2010, and it was certified in 2012. So and I think the rezoning happened out of the 197A, and West Harlem was actually the first community, I think, in all of New York to actually produce a 197A. It was one of the first
community-led,
hear from.
yeah, one of the first community-led planning of what we want to see for housing, for everything related to our community board.
What-
And we're one of the
So
first to do it.
So that contextual
And-
zone.
So what do you think?
And Liz, the caveat there is that the so-called West Harlem rezoning was really more of a Hamilton Heights rezoning. I mean, the Manhattanville area also got rezoned because of Columbia's involvement. But
Right.
the third part of West Harlem, which is Morningside, was never rezoned. And so that would be presumably, if there were an area that we're going to have some contextual zoning applied, that would be the neighborhood where it would be most needed, I would guess.
Which is in like I referred, a plan that we have made the people who are working in the Manhattan plan aware of. We do have an existing application for the Morning Heights rezoning, so we try to make all the materials available for them. So I know there was some confusion during the meeting where they were asking, what do you want to see, and a lot of community leaders felt like why we're starting from scratch when we already had done so much other work, specifically in communities. But I think we had gave our feedback to the consultants and the lead team that is leading the Manhattan plan, that might have not been communicated properly to community board members and all community board leaders at the meeting. They are aware of the plans, they're aware of the work that we're doing. So just to clarify that little point.
Yeah, I have a quick question that is probably a dumb one. Are these plans also then being drafted for the other 4 boroughs in the city?
No, since it's called the Manhattan Plan, it is focused on Manhattan specifically, and I think it's part of like we have seen larger plans in other boroughs. That Manhattan is feeling like a little more in terms of housing development is needed.
Wait, so there is no Brooklyn plan, there is no Staten Island plan, there is no Queens plan?
Yeah, I think Jose, do you mind, can I jump in for a second? Yeah. So Barry, there's Manhattan is the only borough with I guess it's like a self-titled borough plan. This was and Jose, correct me if I'm wrong, this was a study that was proposed by the mayor's office and is now being executed in partnership, or I should say DCP is the lead, is tasked with this plan, but as of right now, Manhattan is the only borough that is undergoing, this, or that is participating in this initiative.
I mean, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I'm sure you know my take on that, which is that it's the borough that already has the most housing out of the 5 boroughs. And so perhaps needs the plan somewhat less than the other 4 boroughs that have 92% of the land in the city. But I'll shut up now.
No, but I think you're totally right on that. Audrey, your point is key, because if you get together all the plans that just recently happened in Queens with Long Island City, what is Jamaica and all of those, I think you will probably get closer to 50,000 units of housing being produced under the plan. And again, I just want to be consistent in here. The plan does not at the moment propose any type of changes, any type of initiatives. I'm pretty sure you guys remember the industrial plans and other plans that DCP has put together that became reality like 10 years ago, right? With where we live, the HPD put together, that kind of was the genesis for the housing opportunity proposal, text amendment. So the Manhattan plan, as I see, is still in exploration, is still in development. If that were to change, we will be the first to let you know as soon as we get more information. Like I said, there's in consulting engagement, and there is a lead at DCP that is taking this work. So we're in communication, but we'll let you know more information as we get that.
Good question, and Ms. Acosta, the raised hand.
Adriana.
Hi, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
I just have a question about that plan. We do realize that Manhattan is sinking like 2 to 3 meters every year, right? And that the weight of the buildings are creating this environmental impact, because Manhattan is an island. And I'm sitting in traffic and the question I ask myself is, what's keeping us up? Well, we're not mainland. Like, I mean, it feels more like an experiment. If you're doing this Manhattan plan and to rezone different places, right now over on the, I used to be a resident of CB9. Now I live in CB10, and we're dealing with the 145 project. So
Yes.
I mean, I think rezoning is good. I think it just needs to stay in the contextualization of what the neighborhood calls for. Like Hamilton Heights is historic, right? It's a historic district.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what we need to be discussing on how, like Barry said, we have a lot of housing. I think now we need to be more concentrating on how do we keep the contextualization of the neighborhood, the authenticity. I've traveled to Atlanta and there's a place called Castleberry, and the district is gorgeous. It keeps with what the original town and the place has always been. But obviously it's more modernization, you have more, you have the AI, you have the tech and all of that stuff, but
but I hear what you're saying, and that is part of what we'll be looking at. That's part
Okay.
of what we'll be meeting. That's part of our 197A plan was about the historic district that we have here and keeping that. So that will definitely be in mind as we move forward. But thank you for your comment, Liz.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you so much.
Jose? Jose, you still with us?
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you have a timing or expectations of us?
Audrey, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the team is gonna be out between August and September collecting more information.
Yeah, from actually right now. And yeah, June, July, and August. September, I am not sure whether they'll be wrapping up an engagement and outreach process or if there'll be a next phase. Right now, I wish that I had more details to share beyond what was shared with community board leaders in the meeting a couple weeks ago. But right now, those are things we have.
All right. Thank you, Audrey. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Question. I was looking at this $3 million for the benefit fund
Right,
for the grant,
correct.
and you said, I need to be a little more clear on, is that money being utilized, or you said it's just sitting there?
I'd have to ask your tenant association. That's where they have. We don't have, they have it.
So tenant association, I'm quite familiar with the tenant association. Cause I've been in Grand for 50 years, and I just fought to get my front door locked so I could be able to come to these meetings. The door is locked, what the door needs is beyond repair and it needs to be replaced. I've been fighting for that building prior to my mother dying. That was 2018 to go forward. Pictures, everything I sent everywhere to everybody. Cause there's the vehicles in that building. And I said, I refuse to be a prisoner in my home. I don't go out aimlessly, but I like to go as I please. To be afraid to where you live, no.
Not the way you
And
live,
everything was
yes.
falling on deaf's ear, and I said, I'm tired.
So,
Something has to be done. So this money right here, just that one building. I mean, it would be a conflict of interest because I live there, but we need the door replaced and tamper proof.
talking two different things here. One, the repairs of the building, the apartments and the grounds
Right,
is NYCHA's responsibility.
right.
This $3 million is part of the tenant association for them to use for program, basically, not for repairs.
Right, but if they're not using it, then use it for repairs because it's not being used. I'm here to tell you, the money is not here.
Can't be.
But it's earmarked specifically
Earmarked
for
specifically.
tenant association.
Right, and programming for residents.
And what you're saying, and there's no programs being implemented. is what I'm saying. The program, they got a little bus ride here or whatever, but there's no programs actually.
That's something.
And I'm very
discussed, right?
visible.
Yeah,
And
that's-
I'm
like I
tired of
said,
going to their meetings and you're still discussing things that happened 6 months ago and you still don't see the improvements. See what I'm saying? So that's why I'm glad, but it's something that to start, something to start beating because it's very lax there.
All right, that's something we can discuss.
Yeah, it's very lax.
Committee for that.
Yeah.
Any other comments on this section? What I did do when I met with DCP was they wanted places that they could canvass people in the area, and I suggested some of the outdoor events that we have, they wanted to speak with people like that, so I did suggest that. I think I spoke with Connie about some of the places that they could go, some of our outdoor concerts, street fairs, the Columbia Community Day, all those type of events I had spoken to her about, so hopefully we'll get feedback. And just for the record, Audrey, we're on hiatus during July and August, we don't meet, so that
Yes.
was a good time for us, but June is, but outside, the office, sure, people are around, but if you want something for us, July and August, we're not really meeting, so.
For sure. And I think most, if not all boards are on break during the summer, so we're very mindful of that. And, certainly we'll come back, with more updates in the fall. So, when the board is meeting, everyone can talk about it.
I just don't want you to come back in September and say, here's the plan.
No, that is not what is going to happen to the best of my knowledge. Given their timelines with engagement and outreach, they're gonna come back, for more, more conversations.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, a rollout for that will be, if it's gonna go through ULAR, a similar process, right? Like a
We don't know that we don't even know that it is going through ULER.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it would just be, it can be anything from a Housing Manhattanites type plan, like the one that Mark Levine, Borough President, proposed, like a white paper, to another deliverable. But yeah, I wish at this point that I had more information, and Jose and I would certainly share if we did, but yeah, that's what we have right now. We'll keep you updated.
Lana, you had a question.
Just like, what is there a landscape, for like an affordable housing component of this? And if there is, when will we get that information?
So I think what I'm understanding is they're trying to gather information.
Right,
For the
right.
needs of the community.
Correct.
And that would be definitely a need.
Well, when will that, is there any discussion about that? Or I'm just kind of curious to know if that's part of the discussion or, like what does the landscape for that look like?
It's absolutely part of the discussion. Affordable housing is a number one concern, for most community boards in Manhattan. And certainly one that we've heard from the other uptown boards that Jose and I work with. So not sure what form that will take or what type of recommendations may ultimately come out around affordable housing and a housing affordability, but it's definitely in the conversation.
And sorry, I pasted the website or the link, which will be incorporating more information soon. So there is a link for the landing page at the moment. So there will be updates within that same website soon. So stay tuned as the landing.
It's in the chat.
Yeah.
You have his, can you send it to Uther as well, please?
Yeah.
Great, thank you. We can just distribute it. Any other comments on this? It's important. Like I said, hopefully we'll get our committee together fairly quickly and we can start taking a look at these items because that's probably the number one thing. There is housing, affordable, low income housing, seems to be short. Okay. Anything else on that, item A, Manhattan plan, which is definitely gonna be an ongoing thing. I'm around most of the summer, so.
We were just mentioning that we should probably do a visioning meeting, and when you get the new committee members, time to do that. Yeah, include us all.
It's a good exercise.
Yep.
It's a good exercise to have to do this. We should put this like in the calendar for like every 3 to 5 years. Yep, to update the plan.
What date are you looking at?
I don't have.
We don't know yet, just the idea right now.
Yeah.
Just an idea.
Yeah. We should.
Okay. Alrighty, I'm gonna move on to old business. We have anybody reporting in the RKO? Who was that, Dominic?
So that
Walter?
was just taken over by Walter.
Okay.
Don't know, does he have any dates for that?
Is he on?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He's not officially in this committee, but and we kind of agreed that it's a kind of a joint thing between arts and culture and us, so. I think that it left off that he needs to just set a time for a meeting to get people back in the loop and talk about it.
Yeah.
He said that he was in conversations with, former board member Dan Cohen.
Dan Cohen.
Yeah.
Right, I was gonna reach out to Dan, Dan's in charge of that task force. We have a lot of interest, I know lots of people are interested. That was born out of just, April Tyler and a mutual interest of everyone wanting to see that theater become something productive in our community. We have an opportunity there. We did a visioning meeting for that 8, 9 years ago now.
Still beautiful. I visited there with a group. It's still a beautiful site.
Yeah.
I met with Dan Cohen in a different meeting and he mentioned, he thought there was some progress based on what happened at the Metro Theater on first, third, yeah. So he was, encouraged by that. So, legislation that we're watching. I don't know anything in
This
particular.
is the moment where we just ask if anybody's heard any legislation we want to hear.
Legislation that we're watching, I forget the bill numbers, but Cordell and Al Taylor have a bill to amend the Health and Hospitals Corporation Act of 1968 to remove any references to the Board of Estimate and make it explicit that it must go through ULURP if they want to dispose of city-owned real estate, which is probably not necessary. It's probably already illegal for them to skip ULURP, but this just puts the nail in the coffin. That I have heard, it looks like it's going to pass the Senate this session, and they are trying to get it out of committee in the Assembly to try to get it in the Assembly as well. But the Assembly is shakier than the Senate at the moment.
Thank you, Barry.
Yep. Other
6685 is the bill number?
Yeah.
All right.
I have to hop off, Victor, but there's one other note I have, which is we were informed of a capital project by HPD involving 15-year light tech credits on somewhere between Convent and Amsterdam for 68 units over 4 buildings. They neglected to include the addresses or borough block and lots, though, so we need to follow up with HPD to find out what exactly that capital project is.
So it's between which Amsterdam and Convent, you said?
Yeah, I'm going to try to look at the name of the owner in Acris and see if I can find it that way. But it's I just emailed, I think, you and Yutha to see if we can get an answer from HPD as to the actual location of that project.
That's the 8.5 million, Barry?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Great, thanks, Barry.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, drive safe. Alrighty. Public member updates.
Tanya and Olga are on, I believe. So we are fresh new public members, so we will update at the, future date as far as what we're gonna work on, I guess. But I think it's a visioning meeting, could be something.
Okay.
My guess.
I couldn't hear the last thing you said,
Hi,
Signia.
Tanya. I was just
Hello.
speaking. Hello. We're a team now. Public members
Yay.
go. Just saying, I feel like this visioning meeting we're talking about to try and zone in on this Manhattan plan and, you know, we should be
Yep.
doing this every few years is something that we could help kind of helm. I think the public
Definitely.
members could help kind of work on
I
that.
think that would be great. That
That's a
sounds
great
great.
way for public to assist.
Tanya, any other input from you?
No,
Any other?
I think that sounds like an excellent plan. I would love to be involved with that. I don't think Jared is here on this call. We had talked a while ago, a couple of months ago, about the possibility of doing a workshop. I think it was on like tenant rights and also like inheritance of units. And we had brainstormed, I think Olga and Jared and I, and then I think they were at a meeting maybe that I wasn't at after that. So I'm not sure where that sits, and that's something that we can, you know, push till later. But I know that was something that was raised at another meeting, and then we brainstormed it a little bit and came back to you guys with some semblance of idea that we could pursue. But there hasn't been any movement since then.
Okay, thank you. That sounds good though. Thank you.
Yeah, that's something we could continue.
Anything else from public members? Okay, any night shift updates? Who was watching now? Do we have somebody that was watching night shift? No, they're having a PAC meeting over here on the 18th, same day as general board meeting. But so that's moving along up there.
It would be good beginning in September to identify someone on the committee.
But
Yeah, we tried multiple times to try and just get one person that could commit themselves to going to those meetings, so let's just keep trying.
okay. Okay. Important. And we actually have a board member who works for night shift as well. So that could be helpful.
What's the board member's name? Who works for Monday?
That's Mateen. I think, is he still on?
See him then.
That's lovely.
Yeah. Mateen, are you still on?
Get her. But
It says he's on, but
we'll get someone assigned to that. So, getting information from that, because things are changing very quickly there between PAC, the trust and Section 8, so it's a lot happening.
Yeah.
MHCC updates. Anybody signed to that?
so usually Barry has been the one to update us
sure.
on that.
Yeah.
However, we did have MHCC come to our last meeting, or our exec meeting, our general full board, and gave us a bit of an
Yeah.
update, right? So
Probably it for
that's
We'll say HCC, I'm on board with HCC, yeah.
We'd love it, maybe get an update of anything you guys.
Yeah, so we do have like a housing committee within MHCC
Yeah.
that is going to
I
be
could
next week, perfect, okay, that they are gonna meet next week,
Normally they're on
beyond
the same
that-
night of the general board, so none of us could ever make.
That's tricky, yeah, okay.
That was always a trick. I've been on the email since the beginning of it being confirmed, but I've been able to go to.
So yeah, I mean, no updates since what Dan and Dave shared during the general as far as.
that's it, right now. Great.
I did watch Laura's memorial service on
Yeah.
Sunday. We lost Laura Friedman, who they had a memorial for her
Yeah.
on Sunday, so it was lovely to watch.
Great. I think that covers the agenda as written. Sorry, thank you. I'm gonna tell it this moment.
No updates at the moment, yeah, that's
So just a reminder
Ongoing.
for board members, the community benefits agreement is on the website. Okay,
And not the, HCs. I'm very beautiful.
Take a look. Okay, the
Some of
exhibit,
these exhibits here, which are kind of keys on this.
okay. We'll take a look at that and make sure they get on.
You know, I looked at the Columbia site too.
It wasn't on there, it was. Okay, I can reach out to them as well. Exhibits are not on the, for the CBA thing is not on the website.
I think I found them once, so let me see if I can find it again.
Okay. let me know.
But it should be somewhere.
Yeah, it should be.
Easily.
197A plan is on the website as well. Hopefully we'll be updating that to some extent with our new plan going forward. Just for general purposes, the CBA includes a lot of vast information about health, everything you can think of, and some good reading.
Yeah, I mean, it really does lay out the plan for this whole district and
Yeah.
how we, the 197A. I'm sure it can always be, refreshed and updated because new concerns happen every year, right? But just so those that don't know, I've been on this committee 12 years or was on this committee 12 years, so I have a lot of institutional knowledge and we don't want to lose that, right? And so the important thing about our district is, we have a lot of historic buildings, and so we've always taken a lot of care to make sure that whatever building housing comes into the area matches and works with our community rather than just housing for housing's sake. Yes, we want affordable housing. Yes, we are 100% for it, but we also want it to make sense for our community. And I think that's something that's really, really important that we understand and make sure
Absolutely.
we're reflecting that. And that's something April taught us and something we'll continue to push for, so.
100%. Agree with it. So that's what we have. We don't have any action items here. We do have some residents from 153rd Street that wanted to speak regarding issues there. The other thing I'm gonna say, and someone mentioned, I think Juan mentioned, Uniform Services Committee, with already last Thursday.
Yeah, the first Thursday.
Yeah, but we might have to convene something separately. That they work with DOT, they work with some of the other agencies that would come under jurisdiction. Just for the record though, I live not far from you on 148th and Riverside.
Okay.
So I know, and it took me, they just painted the lines again.
Right.
Because they wore out. And during the winter, there was a head-on collision, not bad, fortunately. And I threatened to go out and paint it myself. I said, well, we have to wait till someone dies up there to get this done. And then with some problems with the contractor, which has delayed the work for quite some time recently. So I tried, they send us an update each Friday. Sometimes it's not much of an update at all because I don't see anything happening. One of the things that I've been told is that when they started the work, the underpinnings underneath the roadway were much worse than they thought. So a lot of work was being done underneath that we couldn't see to make sure that it was shored up.
That's my
fault.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting to.
Yeah. So that was one of the issues, but what I'll do, if you had left your emails, I can set something up with maybe even with the building to try to get an update, what's happening as far as the plan. I know people live up, further up, River Arts.
It's
and-
also, I mean, I've been emailing, like Sean Brew, the people in our district, cause I feel like at this point, I mean, and it's always been, people who are in a wheelchair, people have difficulty walking, taking a dead body out of our building, you have to go up and up a hill. Like packages aren't getting delivered, people, so I feel like I've called 311, it's like an accessibility issue also, it's not. Parking is an issue, but it's also like an accessibility issue, which I feel like is illegal, and I know like Jude Law hasn't been working for over a year now. And is it true that it is an Amtrak? Did Amtrak contract Jude Law to do this work? Is that accurate?
That's
It's not part of Amtrak.
No, are you confusing another project?
153rd and
153rd.
There's
Riverside.
155th. No, there's 135 to be had a project there, but that's
So it's
it's
DOT,
someone.
it's a DOT project, okay.
I think there might.
Hold on one second. Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know who else to,
Did Sean Abreu get back to you?
no, I mean, he's.
Thank you.
So Mr. Francisco didn't get back to you?
No,
No.
no one got, the only time there was someone in our building who sent a really nasty Instagram recently that was public and then suddenly like someone emailed her back.
I don't know exactly what's going on, but I actually did a little research.
Okay.
I went, so I be living on the first, so I went down to one of the first, see, they actually working on it, right? I didn't see any. I didn't see anything. It's been over 5 years now. There's no reason a project should be existing
That
all
long.
that long.
I
And these barricades are covering our entire building. I mean, you go and look, you're gonna say, look, that's a liability. As far as my job location, that's a serious liability. And the lady don't want to life. What happened to any of us? You know, if ambulance can't get to you, it takes a matter of seconds. You lose your life.
So.
I just wanted to ask us. Trying to say, this contract was let, I think according to the comptroller, 2018. It's supposed to be done in 2022, June 2022, so we're now 3 years.
2 years.
Over. They've spent at least $20 million more than they were supposed to. It was a $100 million contract. Its current cost is up to 120. And that would be a scandal in and of itself. But they have for at least a year now blocked us off, as he says.
Right.
Our access, the road was supposed to be opened again in 2024, at the end of 2024. So we're 6 months past that deadline. And, you know, my mother lives in the building. She's 89 years old. And she's in a wheelchair. To get her, I had to take her to the hospital in December. And in order to get her there, I had to push her up that hill and get her into an ambulance. My brother had a stroke in my mother's apartment. We were there gathered, and we had the same issue. There's no access to the back door of the building because they put those damn barricades
in, right?
And so that's the only door that's accessible to somebody in a wheelchair.
Isn't that a fire hazard to block?
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, it's certainly a problem, and I don't know if the woman on the first floor died as the ambulance crew could get her.
No, she died. It's just a matter of like, you had to take her body, like, and no matter whether you're walking and like with your situation. So we can exit the basement, so it's 760 and 162, they're like L-shaped buildings. We share like our basement is the same.
Right.
So you can exit on Riverside, where it's kind of. It's like an offshoot starting, you know, cause you live over there. So that's like also like blocking, but the very front of our building, that slope. An offshoot of Riverside from 152 to 150 there is completely blocked, so a fire truck can't go because it's gated. And then there's also now other equipment that's right in front of our building, so one night a fire truck did walk out because there was a manhole fire. A fire truck broke down with the barrier, but they couldn't get any further because there's all kinds of metal and equipment there. So they must have filed a complaint because remember, there's a large claw that was removed, but all those other barriers are there. And
It's unconscionable. I mean,
but it's
the
just
people
right,
that never-
it's accessible, the accessibility issue for human beings getting anywhere. It's impossible.
So let's do this. You left your email addresses or contact?
Yes.
What I can do is get DOT out. I was out with them last week on some issues. I'll get them out. We'll walk the area and then and describe what's going on. And then
All you have to do is come to our building. Just come to.
No, trust me.
Riverside, you will see exactly.
I ride my bike there. I drive.
No,
I
right.
walk. I walk to
Great
the
area.
bridge in the morning sometimes. And it's I mean, our entire building is covered with barricades. With the barricades all over there. All around from one side. And that, it's like the L. 152nd and 5th, that. Yes. Little that, they close. All the way down, the new building that's been built to stack, so you come down to the. And also, one other thing I want to call out, those belly bins. I know it's there, but it's really served no purpose. I know it's a good idea, but because the reason why I say that, because most people that comes on Riverside, they have the piece of pop. They don't think about throwing things. They don't. They just see the bins there and they just chunky. In other words, this.
You talking about the new bins?
Yes, they call them belly bins. Little big gray bins, those are called belly bins. Yes,
Yeah,
they take up not only parking spaces.
Exactly.
Oh, you know, and it does defeat the purpose. It's supposed to be the.
You're saying they're dumping inside?
No, outside, just go
Don't get
outside.
hard, something to
Like,
get in there?
yes, say if you come down Riverside, right, just taking your pizza or whatever, y'all. Most people, because it's popular, they pull over to the side, they eat their pizzas. They just take their food and just chunk it, because it's either got there. They don't think about bagging it up, because they keep dumping it.
So they're just, is this being, the debris is this on the
Side.
the side of the?
Right, the piece of purpose, because the rest, they just still.
And so there's no other cans there except those bins, that's the way.
Take one question.
So you came to a meeting,
Yeah.
virtually, you came to
Yeah,
a meeting.
virtually.
Barry asked you to come to the uniform meeting because we have DOT every meeting there. And we would have loved to hear you talk about this then. Now, we don't meet again until September, but Mr. Edwards is gonna set it up so that you can talk. You need to bring as many people as you can.
Okay.
Because on 149th and Convent, there was people double parking from Convent all the way to 149. The sanitation department came with the big trucks to pick up garbage, they couldn't get through, they got stuck in the middle. And the precinct wouldn't do anything until they saw that picture that I sent to my chairman for them to send it back to them. So if you come with as many people as you can and tell the story that you told us last month.
Yes.
Of that lady.
So we'll
They
set
will
up a
listen to
meeting.
it.
I will. We will, thank you. I'll set up a meeting with the three of you at least to.
Because I feel like there has to be some legal.
Yeah, I would say.
Like, because it's an accessibility issue,
Exactly.
and it always
And
has
as you
to.
bring it up, people, like I said,
Right.
I'll get the DOT personnel. We'll walk it, maybe meet with you at the same time and we'll take a look at it. And sometimes contractors do what they want until they're called on it.
Exactly.
Everybody's looking, it's easy for them. And something is definitely wrong there because one part of the project is finished, like when you turn the corner, they paved that road up the middle, so there's no need to have a barricade there, that's.
So going up 153rd page.
Right, you'll see a little path, a little thing there. And you see a little barricade, so why is that, what's the purpose of that?
Let's find out. Let's find out. I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess I'm there often.
That comes.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no, that's why we're here. Yes, a lot.
Also, if there's anybody with a disability, I know you mentioned your mother, there's the mayor's office for persons with disabilities, like, we had a situation with like cops parking cars and blocking curb cuts, and they kind of intervened, they didn't really fix the situation, but they did intervene, so you can contact them because they do intervene on behalf of like persons with disabilities and other government, you know, so just contact them.
So let's be clear, your neighbor didn't die because he had.
No, she died in her, she died at home.
Okay.
She died.
All I know is that the EMTs arrived and they said she was non-responsive.
We don't know that, that's the point.
No, I spoke to her daughter, I spoke to her daughter.
Still,
Yeah.
if, in other words, let me emphasize on a different number. Say, for example, you have a heart attack and you get to me right away. Right. Same concept. No, I know, you need someone to come and protect this, no excuses.
Well, that's on crossing the street too, because there's no clear line side, it's on the corner.
But I just wanted to be clear.
No,
She talked to them.
No, she died at home in person. Yeah, I spoke to her daughter, I know for sure.
We have we have contact information for three of you or representative?
Yes, they have it here.
It's on there? You know which names are which?
Hmm?
You know which names are there?
Yeah, she's Allison,
Yeah.
Jim, and Jane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
David Hayes, yes.
Yeah, like us to add you to our regular housing meeting.
Sure.
So out.
Yeah, yes, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Add them to uniform services, so we have, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we'll try and pull something. Together. Not sure. Make it a project.
You know what?
Any other items, comments? Anything else, before we adjourn? This is the last meeting until September. Mhm.
September 9th.
September 9th. Yes.
Just a Tuesday.
Well, we're going like.
Is that like a permanent date?
Right, for July. and August.
Yes.
So we'll reconvene.
We have, we have so many.
Yeah.
Next door, youth education libraries, they can say.
Right, for July and August.
So,
They'll reconvene in September.
any other comments, suggestions, anything else? If not, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:51. Motion to adjourn is in order?
So, second.
Yes.
You guys, the.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Several.
Okay, great.
What time did it adjourn?
7:51.
Yeah, I'll see you.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
I look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy your summer.
Have a great summer, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for all.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a good night.
All right.
Yeah, well.
With double parking, no, they just. Like the living issues and whatnot.
No, yeah. They're starting to put, they're trying to put delivery walking zones in residential. So they tried it, I think it was 146 between Broadway and Amsterdam. They took like 3 or 4 spaces. During the day, it's just for loading and unload, so that might be the next way to go. Cut down on some of the double parking, as long as people